Hmm. So we're doing a sound check for a sec because I didn't like how my the audio and the video came out last night. So just give me 1 minute. Try to figure out what's going on with my sound. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. So I guess we good until somebody starts messing with it. You already know. We always getting somebody messing with our stuff, man. So I want to say A-Hop to the Shabbatah and A-Hop to Drop Nation, A-Hop to the Ether Squad, man. So we already know, man, what's going on. So yeah, let's get this doing some reading, you know, yeah, did some reading on Worlds Beyond the Pole also, right? But I've been doing some reading. I haven't gotten a chance to finish reading Worlds Beyond the Pole, right? So we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk about 100 proofs that the Earth is not a globe. So yeah, and I'm gonna get some proverbs too. Um, yeah, but I just wanted to make sure everything sounded pretty good actually before I started. I think if anybody comes in, man, give me a thumbs up. Let me know it sounds pretty good because lately it's been choppy. You hear me? But I'm quite sure that Hawa is going to take care of everything, because that is our secure breath, right? We just trying to get it right, man. Aman Abba will make sure that we get it right, man. You hear me? Because we already know that Mama, without her, we don't have nothing. So just trying to get it right, man. That's it. Trying to get it right. I want all my sound, everything to sound good, because I don't want to do goofy presentation. But here lately, I've been getting messed with by the hijack. The hijack pretty much been messing with me. You hear me? But we ain't really worrying about that because I keep the code. I KTC. You know, I'm spitting out this indigenous truth, and I'm studying the Tanakh. So anything other than that, I ain't worrying about it because you know um, I do have faith that everything will be cool. You know what I mean? Um, it's really it's not that um, I don't trust in Aman Abba. It's not that. What it is I'm just cautious. I proceed with caution. It has nothing to be do with being worried or being scared. None of that. It's just I think from the pain that I've endured after being on the planet for quite some time, it has made me perceive. It has made me pursue things with caution. So once upon a time, I wasn't like this. I would just jump in, you know what I mean, 10 toes down, whatever happens, what happened. But, you know, throughout life, you gain something called wisdom. I hope, all of us don't have this understanding or this perspective of wisdom. But with me, because I've been around for quite some time and I grew up in this wild city, this wild state, where you can't get caught out there, but you can't get out caught out there with your pants down. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean, you can't get caught out there like that. You can't get caught out there flapping in the wind, looking all crazy, you know, because I've been pretty conscious my whole life. I've been aware my whole life of uh, the Most High, you know, and always acknowledging self because I was reared from a child to understand that I come from a special people. Um, I don't think my folks really understood that there is a war against us, because when I seen folks with certain situations that I had to deal with, you know, in, as we say, around the way or in the streets, when I would go to them with it, they would always make it seem like I was bugging, like whatever I was going through wasn't real, you know. I, till today, I don't know if they really knew or if they were just being parents and they were trying to suppress my thoughts so I wouldn't feel like I'm being victimized. I really don't know because I can't. I don't think that my peoples was that green where they just didn't believe what I was saying after all what they went through in the '60s. So they had to know by the time I started coming up in the '80s, which it ain't no time. 20 years later, really ain't no big gap, um, because pretty much uh, all of the freedom fighters they got killed in the '60s, and then from that point up until now, there hasn't really been any type of uprising, by the people, going at the hijack. It hasn't been nobody. It's been hijack riders. All these Jay-Z dudes and all these goofy ass rappers and all these clothing lines and TV shows that everybody was, jumping aboard. That did nothing for us. All that did was promoted more violence, promoted more death, promoted more drug abuse, promoted more uh, prison confinements. Brothers going to, it ain't do nothing for us. And even now, it's even bad now, but it's a good thing we got these code keepers out here. Shout out to the 500 code keepers, man. Yeah, yeah. So y'all already know, man. Y'all already know. So I'm quite KD, and yeah, he didn't already let y'all know, man. So yeah, like I said, man, shouts to 432, shouts to Drop Nation, man. You know, I appreciate y'all, man. It's been rough. I feel like I kind of want to explain that a little bit. Um, I don't really want to get into it too heavy, but um, it seems like I was kind of being looked at as something that I wasn't. That's what I was getting from the whole situation. And I didn't know how to address it because, my whole life I've always been uh, that guy that tried to do right. I've always been that guy that uh, was in search of trying to figure out how to raise my frequency, and I've always been conscious of my people. Like you know, man, I've been dodging and fighting hijacks my whole life, Doug. You hear me? I was born in '70. You know what I mean? So I had to go through the '80s crap. I had to go through all of that. I had to go through all of that '80s stuff. When the crack cocaine hit. I was never involved in the use of crack cocaine, nothing like that. But I was around. I saw the devastating impact that happened to the people that was living in my area, man. You know, and I always had this theory that the drugs were being placed in the neighborhoods purposely by the government. I hate to say that, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I always thought that. I always thought that we were being force fed this shit, man. I always felt like that, man. You know. And then later down the line, sure enough, you had whistleblowers, and they got knocked off for their involvements of uh, poisoning the community, poisoning my community, you know. So, we already know all this, man. I don't need me even going into all that. I gotta watch myself because it's a lot of pain, man. It was a lot of pain, man, that I had to endure myself, and a lot of pain that I see a lot of other people go through. And this is, you know, I was lucky to be conscious and knew a little something. I didn't know as much as I thought I knew, right? I didn't know as much as I thought I knew. But, you know, when you're shooting to be who you are, these these copper colored nagas, man, that we are, at some point in time, it's gonna come to surface. So pretty much that's what it is, man. I don't perceive to be no big bad guy, nothing like that. I've always been a defender. Like I've always been, a warrior. I've always been uh the person that fought the oppressor. And like I said, it's not always the pale people. It's not always the pale people. That's the fake out. I mean, I have more issues with my own people a lot of the times more than I even have with pale people. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. So, you know, it just is what it is, man. It is what it is. Like I said, I know that I have to be censored somewhat. I can't really jump out there verbally the way I want to because I have to keep my composure and I have to be respectful. Because YouTube already got me on some what is that? I'm on some kind of probation or something like that. For them shutting my channel down. So I gotta think before I run my mouth. I can't jump out there as much as I really want to, right? So it is what it is, man. So right now I'm keeping the code. You hear me? I'm raising the frequency. I'm speaking this indigenous truth, and I'm giving this to knock. You hear me? So that's pretty much going on right now, man. And I'm giving my testimony, man. You know, I'm giving my testimony. So other than that, let's get on this 100 proofs that the earth is not a globe, right? See, I don't really like StreamYard because StreamYard is a little slow on the. I can't screen share on YouTube right now because I haven't reached uh that that uh that subscriber quota that you have to meet when you can screen share immediately. So if anybody knows about another way of me screen sharing other than StreamYard that's a little bit more efficient, please let me know. So yeah, we got 100 proof it's not a globe, right? And it says dedicated to Richard A. Proctor, Esquire, the greatest astronomer of by was William Carpenter. Yeah, it says upright, downright, straightforward. Upright, downright, straightforward. So I get it. Yeah, let's go through some of this stuff. I'm just gonna go ahead and belly flop. Wait a minute, miss that. Belly flop real quick. Let me center this up a little better. Right. So I'm gonna start from the beginning because I haven't started reading this yet. So it say Earth is not a globe. If man uses the senses which Hawa has given him, he gains knowledge. Yeah, use your senses, man. You know what I mean? Use your sense. Because if you use your senses, you'll know that we're not moving at what was it, 67,000 miles per hour spinning. And if all you gotta do is use your senses and stand there, and you can feel that's not happening. You know, so that's one thing. Use your senses. All right. So if he uses them, he remains. He remains. If he uses them not, he remains ignorant. Mr. R.A. Proctor, who has been called the greatest astronomer of the age, says the earth on which we live and move seems to be flat. Makes sense, because I've never held a ball of water in my hand, and that's just as simple as that. No matter what, when you pour water, after you pour it, wherever you pour it at, it's flat, and that's just common sense. I've never seen a ball of water, not unless it was enclosed in something, but then at the very top of it, you're still going to have that flatness, right? So now he does not mean that it seems to be flat to the man who shuts his eyes in the face of nature, or who is not in the full possession of his senses. No, but to the average common sense, wide awake, thinking man, he continues, that is, though there are hills and valleys on its surface, yet it seems to extend on all sides in one and the same general level. Again, he says, there seems nothing to prevent us from traveling as far as we please, any direction towards the circle all around us, called the horizon, where the sky seems to meet level of the earth. Hmm. The level of the earth. Mr. Proctor knows right well what he's talking about. For the book from which we take his words, Lessons in Elementary Astronomy, was written. He tells us to guard the beginner, to guard the beginner against the captious objections which had from time to time been argued against accepted astronomical theories. The things which are to be defended then are these accepted astronomical theories. It is not truth that is to be defended against the assaults of error. Oh no, simply theories, right or wrong, because they have been accepted. Accepted. Why? They have been accepted because it was not thought to be worthwhile to look at them. Let me slide this out. So that's, all right. Sir John, what's this? Herschel says, we shall take for granted. Man, this thing is moving. Maybe that whole thing, I got a glitch, man. It's almost like the computer knows. But let me just go back a bit. So it says, Sir John Herschel says, we shall take for granted from the outset of Copernican system of the world, he did not care whether it was the right system or a wrong one, or he would not have done that. He would have looked into it, but what's this? Forsoth, the theories are accepted, and of course, the men who have accepted them are the men who will naturally defend them if they can. So Richard A. Proctor tries his hand, tries his hand, and we shall see how it fails him. His book was published without any date to it at all. Okay. But there is an internal evidence which will fix that matters closely enough. We read of the carrying out of the experiments of the celebrated scientist Alfred R. Wallace to prove the convexity of the surface of standing water. I just was saying that, which experiments were conducted in March 1870. Hmm, 100 years. 100 years from my, okay. for the purpose of winning 500 pounds from John Hampden, Esquire, of Swindon, England, who had waged that sum upon the conviction that the said surface is always a level one. You know, it trips me out how everything that's written, everything that's tested or started, everything is always in Europe, which we know we dodging the hijack 9 times out of 10. It just tripped me out how everything come from them. They always saying from England, from Germany, from, come on, man, give me a break, man. Did America do anything? Does anything ever say American? The word came from America. The study came from an American, blah, blah, blah. Or nah, it's always somebody from Germany, always somebody from England, always something Latin, always. Come on, man, give me a break. I'm dodging that hijack. Who had waged that sum upon the conviction that the said oh, I read this already. The experiment was lutely, lutely tried in a very amusing way in or about the year 1870. Then Mr. Proctor wrote his book, and instead of being ignorant of the details of the experiment, he knew all about them. And whether the amusing part of the business was the fact that Mr. Wallace, let me move up some. This thing won't even move, man. That's what I be saying about StreamYard. It takes a minute before it starts to move. And I can't wait till I can screen share the right way. Can't stand this shit, man. Oh, the hell happened that fast, man? I went up too far. Hold up. All right, there we go. Mr. Wallace wrongly claimed. Mr. Wallace conducted. Okay, that's because I come over here. Mr. Wallace conducted. Oh, whether Mr. Wallace music. Mr. Wallace conducted by parallax. These were things of imagination. So no, Mr. Wallace wrongly claimed the 500 pounds. Okay, I'm coming as pounds and got it. And that Mr. Hampton was the victim of the false claim, it is hard to say. The way in which the experiment was carried out is to and purposes, just the way in which Mr. Proctor states that it can be tried. He says, however, that the distance involved in the experiment should be 3 or 4 miles. 3 or 4 miles. Now, Mr. Wallace took up 6 miles in this experiment and was unable to prove that there is any curvature, though he claims the money and got it. Surely, yeah, I'm quite sure he probably gave him the bread. And then, boy, we check this out, boy. We gonna work something out. We gonna finesse something. You heard me. We gonna finesse something. We gonna put the Nagas in the twilight zone, and we gonna get this money. That's probably exactly what happened. Because all they care about is money. And stealing all of our shit and keeping us subdued. You know, go back to Dumb Diverses 1452. Do I gotta pull that up? You know, I just might do that. Let's get in the Dumb Diverses real quick. Since you know what I mean, we popping off. Let's see what's going on. Give me a minute, because this screen share thing is different. So okay, I gotta get rid of screens. Come back to that. Hold up. So screen share. So yeah, here we go. If anybody don't know about it, these are the people that put us in our situation. KD, I see you short. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I guess I don't know. I can't figure it out. Maybe you know something I don't know, but I don't know. I ain't got no beef, man. One thing about me, I can feel when something I don't know, I can feel, so whatever. I'm moving the faith of Hawaii, man. That's it. I'm a little uh cautious, like I said, because you know, one thing about this let me share this real quick. One thing about this internet thing and this social media and YouTube, that's weird, because what I'm used to is, if a person got a problem, then we pull each other up like men, or he pull me up like a man, and we deal with it. But one thing I know about YouTube, people like to have an issue with you indirectly. Like all the beefs that I've had on YouTube have been with the so-called conscious community. And it trips me out because I don't understand it. You know what I mean? I'm like, how could you want to have a beef with somebody that's not beefing with you? How can you have a problem with somebody that that where the person hasn't even uh came at you sideways, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I done had people try to bite my head off, indirectly, and like, it's for what? Bro, I ain't done nothing to you. What's going on? Like, and then that makes me kind of like stand back and go, what the hell is going on? Like, what's really going on? I done had like 10, 12, like, indirect beefs with people, like, and I ain't doing nothing but just being the pure, clean energy that I am. You know what I mean? And it just trips me out how people will want to start these coming through the back door beefs. And it's like, bro, huh? All I'm trying to do is get to know people. That's it. It ain't, I mean, because I ain't trying to ride nobody's coattail for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never done it. I ain't never had to. I've never done that, bro. I've never been a coattail rider. I've never needed somebody else. I've never tried to um use someone else's energy to ride on the back of their coattails. I've never done that. You know what I mean? You know, a couple of months ago when I really came into my full um awakening, right? I was just trying to create this network of people where we were all into the same thing, and you know what happens from that. You know what I'm saying? If everybody is focused, if everybody is keeping the code, if everybody is working out these 10 commandments, and you know what I mean, ain't nobody trying to kill nobody, ain't nobody trying to cover nobody, take nobody's stuff, ain't nobody trying to be with nobody's wife or nothing crazy, then we can create a situation where we can grow. That's one of the problems that we have as a people. You know, you know, we don't know how to KTC. Period. And then when you don't do that, when you don't KTC, here comes the bullshit. You open the door up for these this necromancy. You open the door for the necromancy. So I knew that if I could link with the people that had the same kind of uh, uh, KTC way of living their lives, then I know that we can make something happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was doing. And then in the midst of all that, I kept running into static. I kept running into static. It tripped me out. Then it got to the point to where as though I started approaching situations cautiously. I started approaching, getting to know people. I'm feeding everybody with a long handle spoon now. Now it's like, man, I don't know, because I know that we all sick as a people, man. We all sick, man. We have to get out of our heads what we have we have been mushed into our brains for the past 30, 40, 50, 60 years. It's even harder for the older you get, it gets harder. Because, like, my parents, they think that I'm crazy. They think that there's something going on with me because now my dad is a different situation because he's into something. Now I'm starting to get to the point where I think he knows. You know what I mean? Because we haven't been communicating. Like my dad now, we that's my dad, but I love him. You know what I'm saying? I love him to life. You know what I mean? But I don't support his way of thinking. I don't support I don't support what he supports. So because of that, we clash. And it hurts, but it is what it is, man. You know, I have to live for the generations to come. And I don't want my grandson to have to go through what I went through. I don't want my great grandson to have to go through what I went through. That's the whole, you know, reasoning of trying to create this generational wealth. You want to make sure that the seeds behind you do better than what you did. But it seems to me that we have been poisoned so bad that we're going the opposite way. We're going the opposite way. Parents, they're losing the way they think nowadays. They're losing that way of thinking. They're so focused on themselves that they don't take 5 minutes to think about their grandchildren, you know. So that's it with that one, man. But look, them diverses, right? So it says is a papal bull in June the 18th, 1452, by Pope Nicholas V. It authorized Alfonso V of Portugal to conquer Saracens and pagans. You know, a pagan could be somebody's that's the opposite of whoever has their belief system. So we know who the Saracens are. That's us, right? So wait a minute, one second. So we know who the Saracens are, right? And consigned them to perpetual slavery. Pope Calixtus III reiterated the bull in 1456 with Inter Cetera. I'm surprised they put this up, man. I'm surprised that they even put this up here because Wikipedia, they do a lot of hide now stuff too, man. They don't tell us everything, but I'm surprised they put this out here, man. I really am. I guess they know that most of us are too busy listening to Jay Z and Chief Keef that we ain't even taking the time to know this kind of stuff, man. We don't even, a lot of us don't even know that we are still in perpetual, we're still under this dumb divergence is still going on. Now, for us that um have a dragonfly perspective, we know that we're getting better. Let's say that we're getting better. We're not all the way out, but we're getting better, right? So the concept of the consignment of exclusive spheres of influence to certain nation states was extended to the Americas in 1943 by Pope Alexander the Sixth in Inter Cetera. So we're gonna get some of this. Let's get some of this. This is for anybody that's new surfing the wave that don't know what this dumb diverse was, right? So it says background by the summer of 1452, Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II had completed the Hisari, Hisari fortress on the western or eastern side of the Bosphorus, located several miles north of Constantinople. It commanded the northwest part of the Bosporus. Byzantine Emperor Constantine the 11th, wrote to Pope Nicholas for help. Issued less than a year before the fall of Constantinople in 1453, the bull may have been intended to begin another crusade against the Ottoman Empire, right? Pretty much the Jews. So pretty much us, man, the Hebrews, man. That's why I said I know they're not gonna give it to us all the way, but I like to read like the real, like the maybe the PDF. I don't trust it. This kind of stuff I don't really trust Wikipedia 'cause they be changing names and it's just I don't trust it, man. Let me read some of this real quick. Pretty much, man. It was to put us in slavery. I don't trust Wikipedia on everything. I don't everything that Wikipedia give us. So I'm not even gonna read this unless I can find like maybe like the old PDF. I might trust that a little bit better. As you know, at the end of the day, all this stuff was written by the hijack, man. So you definitely got to read this stuff with a dragonfly perspective, man. So let me go back to 100 proofs that the Earth is not a globe. Go back to that real quick. Like, all right, yeah. Okay, so where were we? Yeah. Where was we? Yeah. 6 miles experiment. We're gonna start here. Now, Mr. Wallace took up 6 miles in his experiment and was unable to prove. This is when he still got paid anyway. Yeah, the curvature, though he claimed the curve. Wait a minute, let me finish. Mr. Wallace took up 6 miles of his experiment and was unable to prove that there is any curvature, though he claimed the money and got it. Surely it would be amusing for anyone to expect to be able to show the curvature of the earth in 3 or 4 miles, as Mr. Proctor suggested. Nay, it is ridiculous, but the greatest astronomer of the age says the thing can be done. No, it can't. And he gives a diagram showing how the roundness of the earth can be proved by means of 3 boats on a large sheet of water, 3 or 4 miles. But though the accepted astronomical theories be scattered to the winds, we charge Mr. Proctor. We charge Mr. Proctor either that he has never made the experiment with the 3 books, or that he has the experiment, did not prove what he says it will. Right. Accepted theories indeed are not to be bolstered up and what's this? Absurdly and falsehood. Right. Why? If it were possible to show the 2 ends of a 4-mile stretch of water to be on a level with the center portion of that water bulged up, the surface of the earth would be a series of 4-mile curves. But Mr. Proctor says we can set 3 boats in a line on the water as A, B, and C. You say figure 7, somewhere. I'll get to that later. Wait a minute. Oh, man, let me, damn screen share thing again. Keep forgetting that, yo. See what this StreamYard. As far as I know, you got to share the screen like every time. I don't know another way. I'm trying to figure this shit out. Excuse my language. Shalaki. No. I'm gonna figure it out. All right. Hold up. This is figure 7. All right. Then, if equal masts are placed in these boats, and we place a telescope as shown, so that when we look through it, we see the tops of the mast of A and C. We find the top of the mast B is above the line of sight. Now, here is the point. Mr. Proctor either knows or we ought to know that we shall not find anything of the sort. If he has ever tried the experiment, he knows that the three masts will range in a straight line, just as common sense tells us they will, right? If he has not tried the experiment, he shall have tried it or have paid attention to the details of the experiments by those who have tried similar ones score of times and again. Mr. Proctor may take either horn of the dilemma he pleases. He is just as wrong as a man can be either way. He mentioned he mentions no names, but he says a person had written a book in which he said that he had tried such an experiment as the above and had found that the surface of the water was not curved. Come on, man. We already know. Had to get me some water. All right, that person was parallax. Hmm. The person was parallax. What does parallax mean? Let me see what that means real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go on my phone real quick. Get that screen share thing is a pain in the butt. Every time if you want to screen share, you gotta stop the screen share, put another screen share in. It's different. Like I said, I won't be able to finesse and hit these links the way I want to and screen share until I get my subscribers up. So it's gonna be a little slow for a minute, man. If anybody, like I said, if anybody knows an easier way, if anybody knows a way where I can screen share and be quick on these links, please let me know because this is all I know right now. You know what I mean? We trying to get this information out. And right about now, I'm just whatever it takes, man. It might not be as sweet as everybody else's, and you know what I mean. But at least I'm still putting out content. It ain't super nice like everybody else's stuff is, but at least I'm making a point. My point is to flood the system, to flood the hijack with our information. So it says parallax is the apparent displacement of an object because of a change in the observer's point of view. Hmm. My God, let me read another definition too. Hold up. Let me read another definition. Give me 1 sec. So it says is a displacement or difference in the apparent position of an object viewed along two different lines of sight and is measured by the angle or semi-angle of inclination between those two lines. Due to foreshortening, nearby objects show a larger parallax than farther objects when observed when different positions. So parallax can be used to determine distances. Okay. That's all they got to say. Why you gotta be so slick with all of the words and wording, man? Just get to the point. You got to say 900 words when you could just say one sentence. That's how they trip us up. They try to trip us up because we don't want to take the time to learn or to read. First of all, we don't want to take the time to read because we rather be playing video games or listening to Chief Keef. So we won't take the time to read. But then after we read something, they use all of these long, drawn out big words, so it'll be confusing. That's why they write like that, so they can confuse us. They want to confuse us. But we got them though. Drop Nation we got them. So Parallax, the founder of the Zetetic philosophy, he continues. Another person seems to have believed the first and became so certain that the earth is flat as to wager a large sum of money that if three boats were placed, three boats were played, where we at? Where we at? Just saying, yeah. Three boats were placed in figure 7. The middle one would not be above the line joining the two others. The person was John Hampton, and says Mr. Proctor. It sound like Procter and Gamble, big money people. They didn't always finesse, and they finesse everything. And they probably involved in our sunken cities and everything. Unfortunately for him, someone who had more sense agreed to take his wager and, of course, won his money. Now, the sum, now, the someone who had more sense was Mr. Wallace, and says Proctor in continuation, Hampton was rather angry. And it is a strange thing he was not angry with himself for being so foolish or with the person who said he had tried the experiment and so led him astray, but with the person who had won his money. Here then he see that Mr. Proctor knows better than to say that the experiment conducted by Parallax were things of imagination only, or that a wrong account had been given of them. Man, come on. What's going on? The whole thing just jumped. All right, there we go. All right. So it says conducted by Parallax were things of the imagination only, or that a wrong account had been given of them, and it would be well if he had knew better than to try to take his readers to make to make his readers believe that either one or the other of these things in the fact. But there is an old Bedford Canal now, and there are 10,000 places where the experiment may be tried. Who then are the foolish people? Those who believe the record of experiments made by searchers after truth, or those who shut their eyes to them through a doubt upon the record, change the conductors of the experiments with dishonesty, never conduct similar experiments themselves, right? And declare the result of such experiments to be so and so, when the declaration can be approved to be false by any man with a telescope in 24 hours, right? So pretty much they saying, man, the earth is flat, Doug. Stop playing with us, man. Don't even make no sense, man, to even argue this shit, man. You know what I mean? And nobody has left this situation. I mean, it's supposed to be like this belt that they keep saying is radioactive and that nothing can get past the belt. So there's another situation. It's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, man. But when you've been trained to think a certain thing, right, for years and years and years and years, it's hard to really like retrain someone to use common sense because they so people so used to being taught what to think. Yeah, people so used to being taught what to think. But I beg to differ because we're not doing that no more. We definitely not doing that no more. I just been just a little teeny bit lucky because of these different religious beliefs that my people used to be into. Well, nothing heavy, it was always the most high. I never was into polytheistic or nothing crazy like that. But it was always been, a monotheistic thing, and it's always been the most high, always. So Mr. Proctor, the sphericity of the earth cannot be proved in the way in which us. It can't be. We tell you to take back your words and remodel them on the basis of truth. Such careless misrepresentations of facts are a disgrace to science. They are the disgrace of theoretical science today, which is theory. Theoretical science, theory. Theory is not law. Yeah, theory is not law. Theory is not a fact. It's not what it is. It's someone's uh, belief, how they feel. That's their theory. It's not law. So theoretical science today. Mr. Black, Mr. Blackie, in his probably is his name, Mr. Blackie, in his work on self culture says all flimsy, shallow, and superficial work, in fact, is a lie. That's right. Of which a man be ashamed. Right. That the earth is an extended plane stretched out in all directions away from the central north, over which hangs forever. Right. The North Star is a fact which all the falsehoods that can be brought to bear upon it with their dead weight will never overflow. It is Hawa's truth, the face of which, however, man has the power to smirch all over. Smirch, what is it? Smirch. Smirch must be something he used to say back in the day or something. Smirch all over with his unclean hands. Hmm. Mr. Proctor says, we learn from astronomy that all these ideas, natural though they seem, are mistaken. Man's natural ideas and conclusion of experimental results are then to be overturned by what? By astronomy, by a thing without a soul, a mere theoretical abstraction, the outcome of the dreamer. Never. The greatest astronomer of the age is not the human even, who can be so much as attempt to, who can so much as attempt to manage the business. We find, says Mr. Proctor, that the earth is not flat, but a globe, not fixed, but in a very rapid motion. That don't make no sense, man. Not much larger than the moon and far smaller than the sun and the greater number of the stars. First, Proctor, tell us how you can find that the earth is not flat, but a globe. It not matter that we find it so put down in the conglomeration of superstitions which you seek to defend. The question is, what is the evidence of it? Where can it be obtained? The earth on which we live and move seems to be flat. You tell us. Where then is the mistake? If the earth seems to be what it is not, how are we to trust our senses? You supposed to trust your senses, man. That's crazy. You know? So, all right, where we at? If the my bad, I was checking out my phone. My phone was ringing. If the earth seems to be what it is not, how are we to trust our senses? You can't trust your senses. Who can't trust their senses, man? You can't trust what you see. You can't trust what you hear. You can't trust what you taste. You can't trust what you feel. Come on, man. Crazy. I trust my senses. I trust my sense. My senses worry me sometimes because usually when I feel it in my gut, boom. Usually that's what it is. Yeah. And usually it's kind of far fetched to some people. If I tell them some of the things that I feel in my stomach, they'll be like, huh? What do you mean? But then you'll find out 6 months to a year later that what I was saying was true. So it's been like that my whole life. So, and if it is said that we cannot do so, are we to believe it and consent to be put down lower than the brutes? No, sir. We challenge you, as we have done many times before, to produce the slightest evidence of the earth's rotundity, rotundity, evidence of Earth's rotundity. I guess it's rotating. I have to look into that. From the earth, the world of facts around you, you have given to us the statement we have quoted, and we have the right to demand a proof. Let me slide this up, son. All right. And if this is not forthcoming, we have before us the duty of denouncing the observed dogma as worse than an absurdity, as a fraud, and as a fraud that flies in the face of divine revelation. Hmm. Well, then Mr. Proctor, in demanding a proof of the earth's rotundity or the frank admission of your errors, we are tempted to taunt you as we tell you, man. So yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit more of this intro. A little bit more of this intro. Because I've never read this. So I'm trying to see what's going on. I'm doing this in real time. This ain't belly flopping in real time. And I'm using this StreamYard that really pissing me off because it's so slow. Yeah, like I said, I can't screen share just yet until I think you get 1,000 subscribers. Like they won't, YouTube won't let you. I'm quite sure all you big shots, y'all already know. YouTube won't let you screen share live until you have 1,000 subscribers. So right now, I had to get this platform StreamYard until I could bump my subscribers up. So it is what it is. Hopefully, you surfing the wave with me. That it is utterly out of your power to produce one, and will tell you that you do not dare even to lift up your finger to point us to the so-called proofs in the school books of the day. For you know the measure of absurdity of which they are composed, and how disgraceful it is to allow them to remain as false of the youthful mind. Mr. Proc, we charge you that whilst you teach the theory of the earth's rotundity and mobility, you know that it is a plane, and here is the ground of the charge. In page 7 in your book, you give a diagram of the surface in which we live in the supposed globe, supposed hollow globe of the heavens arched over over the said surface. Now, Mr. Proctor, you picture the surface on which we live in exact accordance with your verbal description. And what is that description? We shall scarcely be believed that when that we say that we give it just as it stands, the level of the surface on which we live, and that there may be no mistake about the meaning of the word level. Remind you that diagram that the level that you mean is the level of the mechanic, a plane surface, and not the level of the astronomer, which is convex surface. Okay, okay. In short, your description of the earth is exactly what it seems to be. And yet, what you say it is not, the very book being to say so. And we call this the prostitution of the printing press. Man, pretty much, man. Finessing. It's called finessing of the printing press. Pretty much, man. Because they definitely ain't on no spiraling up. All they thinking about is uh making money and destroying us. That's all they think about all day long, man. And it is all the evidence that is necessary to bring the charge home to you. Okay, this is my wife. Hold on for a second. Hold on, y'all. Yes. No, look, you right? Because I'm recording, trying to get it out the way so when you come home, it's done. That's all. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, love you. Mm, my bad. I had to answer the phone, y'all. I'm doing this in real time. My bad, y'all. You know, and people always want to disturb me when they know that I'm trying to get work done. Yeah. So we know how it go. You know, then the Earth is a plane. Hold up, where we at? Where we at? I'm gonna restart from here. And we call this the prostitution of the printing press. And it is all the evidence that that is necessary to bring the charge home to you, since the words and the diagram are in page 7 of your own book. You know then that Earth is a plane, and so do we. Now, for evidence of this grand fact, that other people may know it as well as you, remembering from first to last that you have not dared to bring forward a single item from the mass of evidence zetetic philosophy by Parallax, a work that influence of which it avowed object of the 3 books, an experiment which you have never tried, and the result of which has never been known by anyone who has tried it to be as you say it is. Man, Finesse City, man. Finesse City. Yeah. So it says, okay, let's jump in again. All right. It says, 1, uh, the aeronaut can see for himself that Earth is a plane. The appearance presented to him, even at the highest elevation he has ever obtained, is that of a concave surface, this being exactly what it is to be expected of a surface that is truly level, since it is the nature of the level surfaces to appear to rise to a level with the eye of the observer. This is ocular. This is ocular demonstration and proof that the earth is not a globe. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, child. Give me 1 second. Right back. Intermission, because we ready to get this, and we're gonna get some of the worlds beyond the pole. So give me 1 second. Intermission. Okay. So we're on this 100 proofs that the Earth is not a globe by William Carpenter. And where we at? So now we're on number two. All right. Number two, whenever experiments have been tried on the surface of standing to be level. If the Earth were a globe, the surface of all standing water would be convex. This is an experiment proof that the Earth is not a globe. Surveyors, operations, and the construction of railroads, tunnels, and without the slightest allowance being made for curvature. Although it is taught that this is so-called allowance is absolutely necessary, this is a cutting proof that the Earth is not a globe. There are rivers that flow for hundreds of miles toward the level of the sea without falling more than a few feet, notably the Nile. Let's say again. Number four, they are rivers that flow for hundreds of miles towards the level of the sea with falling more than a few feet. Right. Mm. Notably the Nile, which in 1,000 miles falls but a foot. A level expanse. One second. StreamYard, man. Slow, man. All right, let's slide this over a little bit. All right. Of the extent is quite incompatible with the idea of the Earth's convexity. It is therefore a reasonable proof that Earth is not a globe. Five. The lights which are exhibited in lighthouses are seen by navigators at distances at which, according to given by astronomers, they ought to be many hundreds of feet, in some cases down below the line of sight. For instance, the light at Cape Hatteras is seen at such distance, 40 miles, that according to theory, it ought to be 900 feet higher above the level of sea, than than it absolutely is. In order to be visible, in order to be visible, read that again. For instance, the light at Cape Hatteras is seen at such a distance, 40 miles, that according to theory, it ought to be 900 feet higher above the level of the sea than it absolutely is, in order to be visible. Hmm. This is a conclusive proof that there is no curvature on the surface of the sea. The level of the sea, ridiculous though it is to be under the necessity of proving it at all, but it is nevertheless a conclusive proof that the Earth is not a globe. 6. 1 second, I gotta answer my door. Hijack, man. They know what I'm doing. They knock on the door and everything. About 30 minutes and you can use it. Come here, you gotta be quiet. You gotta be quiet. No, I'm recording. No. If we stand on the sands of the seashore and watch a ship approach us, we shall find that she will apparently rise, extent of her own height, nothing more. If we stand upon an immense, if we stand upon an immense, the same law operates still. And it is but the law of perspective, right, which causes objects as they approach us to appear to increase in size until we see them close to us, the size they are in fact, right? That there is no other rise than the one spoken of is plain from the fact that no matter how high we ascend above the level of the sea, the horizon rises on and still on as we rise, so that it is always on a level with the eye. It is always on level with the eye, though it be 200 miles away, as seen by Mr. J. Glacier of England. Everybody from England, yo. Do anybody live in America? Do America do anything? Let them tell it everything in England or Greece or Latin or Spain. From Mr. Coxwell's balloon. Soon that a ship 5 miles away may be imagined to be coming up surface. But if we merely ascend a hill such a Federal Hill, Baltimore, Baltimore, they don't know. Federal Hill was pretty, yeah, Federal Hill in Baltimore, yeah. I know all about that hill. It's pretty high. So we may see 25 miles away on a level with the eye. That is 20 miles level distance beyond the ship that we think, imagine to be rounded the curve and coming up. This is a plain proof that the earth is not a globe. Well, I'm going to go down there. Okay. Stand by for the video, man. I'm going to go down there and check out some ships. Oh, yeah, this is okay. If we take a trip down to Chesapeake Bay in the daytime, we may see for ourselves that the utter fallacy of the idea that when a vessel appears hauled down, as it is called, it is because the hull is behind the water, for vessels have been seen and may often be seen again, presenting the appearance spoken of in a way far away beyond those muscles, and at the same time, the level shoreline with its accompanying complement of tall trees towering up in perspective over the heads of the hull down ships. Yeah, I'm gonna do some boots on the ground with this one. See what's going on. Do my own experiment. Since then, the idea will not stand its ground when the facts rise up against it, and it is a piece of the popular theory. The theory is a contemptible piece of business, and we may easily wring from it a proof that the Earth is not a NASA. What they, because we already know that NASA works with who's it? Disney. Yeah, he was working with the him and Walt. Walt was cool with them, and they teamed up and was when NASA first started. They teamed up with Walt Disney and was working in the theaters. That's how they got us faked out. They got us faked out. Um, these astronaut recordings that we see on television, it's all theater. It's all theater, man, and it's 100 videos out there to prove it. They got they're showing these kind of these safety lines that the astronauts had connected to their backs so it could help them with the flipping so they wouldn't fall all over the place. There's videos of this stuff, man. So yeah, number 9, as mariners take the sea with them charts constructed as though the sea may ear as the true form of this level surface taken as a whole. It is clear as they find them answer their purpose tolerably well, and only tolerably well, for many ships are wrecked owing to the error of which which we speak, that the surface of the sea, well, you got a lot of the surface of the sea is taken to be whether the captain of the ship supposes the earth to be the globe or anything else. Thus, then we draw from the common system of plain sailing a practical proof that the earth is not a globe. So, man, it's enough evidence, but I'm gonna do some boots on the ground myself and see what's going on. I'm gonna go to this next screen share and share words beyond a pole. Share words beyond the pole. All right, so worlds beyond the pole. So let's get this one too while we at it. By F. Amadio Giannini. Right? Physical continuity of the universe. Right. So it says 65 mile up. This stratosphere photograph of a part of the Earth's sky, taken from a V-2 rocket 65 miles up, shows the globular illusion and photographic distortion as expressed by Giannini. Photo by Applied Physics Laboratory of Johns Hopkins. So Giannini is popping off on Johns Hopkins. You know, Johns Hopkins is in my city, so I know a lot about them. I don't really deal with Johns Hopkins. I remember Johns Hopkins used to do you could crack open a newspaper like I'm gonna say like 15 years ago. You could crack open a newspaper, and Johns Hopkins used to do all these experiments. Like they would be like, "Boy, come down here and let us shoot some dookie in your arms and sit around us and see the effects. We wanted to study it and see the effects of the doo doo we just shot in your arm. Boy, we'll give you $800. Come on down, man. Crazy. Ain't no way, man. That's a crackhead thing. No way, man. It ain't no way. I'ma trust them making me a crash test dummy. It ain't no way, man. All you gotta do is do your homework. You know what I mean? We got the Tuskegee, you know what I mean, experiment going on. And the crazy part about it is every time they did these experiments, uh, they would always make these guys sign a waiver, right? And then maybe like 5 or 10 years later, they would come out with a commercial saying the stuff that they shot, the dookie that they shot into your arm, um, now it causes cancer, and there's nothing you could do about it. So Johns Hopkins, they definitely be on they bullshit, man. They definitely be on their bullshit. So definitely got to watch them, man. It didn't got to the point now where I don't trust no hospitals, man. It's hard for me to go in the hospital. First of all, you're not gonna shoot nothing. And my grandson was playing. My grandson plays football. He's a quarterback, so it's in his genes. I was a quarterback. My father was a quarterback. You know, we all play sports. So my grandson this weekend he broke his ankle, man. I was in the hospital with him for 2 days, watching him cry. It was just, but every time one of them nurses came in there to try to shoot something in him, I was all over they neck bone. Like, first of all, it's crazy how they will put something in a needle, right? And kind of like tell you what it is, but not really let you read the bottle, not let you see if the seal was on the bottle before they gave it to you, right? You just supposed to trust what they say. They'll squeeze stuff in the needle, not show you the bottle, then set the bottle in like this little container and never really show you the bottle. So I was like, y'all think I'm gonna let y'all put something in my grandson and you not show me the bottle? I need to see the seal on the bottle and all that. I need to read the bottle and all that. I need to see the expiration dates and all that. Because I know how y'all gets down in these hospitals, man. Because I know y'all know us. If you think that Johns Hopkins don't know who you are when you get in there, they might not say they know. It might be something about you that's very unique about your DNA. They're not going to tell you everything they know, man. So make sure you go in these hospitals and you proceed with caution. Just be aware. Don't go in there in the twilight zone. We know mama got us. At the end of the day, at least question, because the hijack is everywhere, man. Especially when they know about these copper colored nagas, especially when they know that you know who you are. You definitely got to be on point from that point on. Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna start from the beginning with this one too, because I'm trying to clear perspective, man. One thing about me, I'm not one of them kind of guys that think I know everything. I'm not big headed. I'm not boastful. I don't know nothing for real. Every time I think I know something, it's always something else that I don't know that's connected with it. So sometimes I like to read things two, three, four, five times because I always catch something that I didn't catch the fifth time when I read it. You know what I mean? As opposed to the first and second time that I read it. So, wait a minute. I ain't playing no games with him, man. Especially when it comes to my grandson, man. That's my heart there, boy. I'm trying to tell you, I'll be ready to go in your mouth about him. Don't be trying to give him nothing. Don't be trying to put nothing in his body, especially if I don't know about it. So, okay, what is this? Changing the scene. What is this? Oh, this is Admiral Byrd. I mean, something about Admiral Byrd. March 13th, the present expedition has opened up from the land beyond the South Pole. Yeah, man, because I don't know. He went Admiral Byrd, him and this fleet. Uh, they went down to the poles, and supposedly, I really don't. This is the story they're telling. The story they're telling is that when they got down there, something started shooting at them. For what they're saying, I don't know. I'm just saying, and they had to turn around and go back. He went through a situation when he got down there. Yeah, he went through a situation when he got down there. I don't know if it's true or not, but definitely a situation. I'm gonna say in 1957, Admiral, in 1957, the enchanted continent in the sky, land of everlasting mystery, Admiral Byrd. Oh, which this must be a book or something. Oh no, that's one of his sayings. I should just read all of them. So let's see what this is, man. It says the changing scene, 1927 to 1957. 1927, August. It is so the world we know of it. William Cardinal, Archbishop of Boston. I don't care about what they say. Archbishops. I don't know what they say. I don't trust them clowns anyway. Anything Archbishop, I don't trust nothing they say. They hijack 101. Anything in that Catholic realm. Nice little poem right here. Drop already got this. Aqua, she already got this, but I'm gonna get it because I need to get my own perspective of it. But it says, only dreams are true, the tangible and real, on which our lives are based. This is out of Worlds Beyond the Pole, right? On which our lives are based. Was yesterday's ideal a rosy picture traced? Yeah, man. A rosy picture traced. I ain't tracing the rosy pictures, huh, man? So, yeah. By some quaint visionary, impractical, half cracked. So we know anything that has M, that means not. So it's not practical, half cracked. Painting his fancies eerie, and now it's solid fact. Hmm. Yeah, man. All right. Whatever we hold stable, dependable, and sane was once a hopeful fable of castles built in Spain. Everything, man. Everything you read. Latin, Spain, Greek. Come on, man. Give me a break, man. You see what's going on. A whole bunch of it's like Alice in Wonderland. Everything they tell us, damn near, is all made up, man. That's why we gotta do our own reading to figure stuff out. And more reading and more reading and more reading and make sure that these things correlate. Because they give us a bunch of trash, necromancy. Right? So before the fact, the fancy, before the deed, the dream that builds by necromancy, the hard material scheme. So, do we know what necromancy means? Should I go 1828 or should I go? I'm gonna go etymology, right? Necro and see. I got a screen share, so give me a minute. That's why I can't stand stream y'all because you gotta stop sharing. And you gotta go share. Like I said, man, anybody else know how I can screen share it other than stream y'all? Let me. I can't share until I get so. It is what it is. I know it ain't all pretty and quick and like everybody else's, but the point is to get the work out, and that's the point where I'm at. So it says necromancy, right? Sorcery, black magic, properly divination by communication with the dead. From Old French, magic, necromancy, witchcraft, sorcery, right? This is what we dealing with, man. Hijack City, man. This is what we dealing with. Prophet, one touched by divine madness, be inspired, which is related to. I don't understand people, man, that's just, why would you Latin by Niger, black. Look at that. Huh. Yeah. Want to live your life, man, to because you know your spirit gonna be going through all kind of shit, man, when you transition. To have physical body that we in and out of this physical situation worth it, man. Is your Gucci really every time I turn around, my netta, every time I turn around, he got it. The boy polite. Every time I turn around, he got one of them red hats, the red Louis, I think what is it, Louis hat, right? You conscious though, but you wearing the hijack shit. You wearing the people that got us, that put us in captivity. You rocking a shit. As a matter of fact, you going broke to wear that shit. Like, yeah, you selling drugs and poisoning your own community to wear they shit. You ain't even smart enough to wear your own shit, but you conscious, bro. That shit get me so mad, man. Shalaki, man, for the, I ain't gonna say a whole bunch of profanity, but I might every once in a while, shh, might come out my mouth. But that's something I'm working on. I'm working on getting better. I'm a daily, I'm a daily work on. You hear me? So I'm working on my wording sometimes, but trips me out, man. It just trips me out how these guys supposed to be so conscious of every turn around. Every time you turn around, you got on the Gucci, you got on the Louis, you got on the bro. Don't nobody care about that shit, man. You need to study. Everybody that's so pressed about Gucci and Louis, you need to study the background of that shit before you want to go out and spend $1,500 for a pair. I own shoes, right? I own shoes. My company, I got shoes. My shoes don't cost they $200. So I had somebody complain to me about my shoes were too high. When my shoes mean something. My shoes are about uplifting our people. My shoes really mean something, and they really nice material. They really nice. It's a really nice shoe. You know what I mean? But you'll go out and you'll pay $2,000 for Gucci and Louis. But my shoes, indigenous apparel, speaks for itself. It's by us, supporting us, giving education and history about us, logos and all. It's about us. It ain't about the hijack. All right, man. But yeah. So what it says, Latin by Niger, black on notion of black arts. So you want to be black, you can be black. I'm not black. You hear me? I ain't nothing, no weird, no black. You hear me? Copper, I am. Black, I'm not. Do you know what black means? Does anybody know what black means? Let's look in 1828 for this. Webbies, right? I got the screen shared. Can't stand the StreamYard thing, man. If anybody hearing, man, please let me know, man. Please let me know. Have a great show. For the Webster's Dictionary 28, right? Right. This. So we're looking for the definition of black, right? For you new wave surfers that don't know what, right? C K. All right. That's what black means. Black means of the color of night, darkened by cloud, right? It says dismal, mournful, calamitous, atrociously wicked, horrible, as a black deed or crime. So you want to call yourself black, huh? What about calamity? Calamitous. What about calamitous? Right? What about calamitous? What? What's going on? Put it this long without the hijack coming through messing with me. Right? Calamitous. All right. Very miserable. Invo- Involved in deep distress. Right? Oppressed with in fallacy. Stretched from misfortune. Full of misery. Full of misery. Right? Distressful. Wretched. Right? That's what you're dealing with when you start talking black, man. That's what you start when you start talking about black. And we already know the definition of America. Like I said, it's for the new ways, man. All of us don't know this stuff, man. Somebody might be looking at this video for the first time, and they might have it right. A native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper, right? Copper. Look at that penny that the old penny that your peoples might have. You know what I'm saying? Or any type of any penny. You can see they got dark copper colored pennies, and they got light gold colored pennies, right? Copper. Found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. So this is what American is. And you know, these so-called indigenous people that you see on TV, they're not copper. They look like yo. They look like pink yo. He don't have no melanin, dog. Copper is melanin. This is not melanin. So understand what you're dealing with. These copper colored races found here are the so-called Negroes. Understand? It's just that we have been finessed. Period. We've been finessed. But that's all right. Though, was drop nation on a neck bone. We on them. You already know we are on them. So let's go back to that worlds beyond the pole again. Let's go back to that worlds beyond the pole. To that poem. That poem KD. He already spit the poem to Aqua. She already spit the poem already. But like I said, this might be somebody first time watching it and don't understand what we talking about. Feel me? I'm new. I'm new doing this. I'm not new at research. I'm new at learning how to uh, earn orientation and how to put my information out there. So, first thing I had to do was take in the information, read it. I did a lot of reading and a lot of studying. People didn't hear from me, didn't know what I was doing. You know what I was doing? Reading and studying so I could understand that, you know, I don't like to I've learned not to trust what somebody says about who I am. I had to do my own research on who I was. You know what I'm saying? You know, because it's all about, for me, it's all about crystallizing from the root up to the crown and beyond. You know, I do understand that without mama, it wouldn't be nothing. I do understand this. So these things I do understand, man. And I had to do my research. I had to I had to get I had to get, you know, get off of the social medias, and I had to crack open books, PDFs. I had to spend money on books. I had to, yeah, I had to read. I had to really read to get the correct perspective. So now that I have the understanding, now that I understand that 4 plus 2 plus 3 equals 9, okay, it's the 9 flow spiraling up. I understand about speaking this indigenous truth. I understand what the code is now, right? Right? The commandments. I understand what the Tanakh is. You know what I mean? Shouts to Yosef the real. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, I just be wanting to clear some things up, man. I don't know what people think because I'm not I'm not that type of guy where I just don't jump into something, man, unless I know what's going on. I got this, you know what I mean? I'm very I calculate. I just don't jump out there and get into something, get involved in something unless I really know. Right? So yeah, man, about the dismount. About the dismount. Let me finish this poem real quick and I'm out of here. Right. So it says, before the fact, the fancy, before the dream that builds by necromancy, the hard material scheme. So all your towers that shimmer, your lamps that light the sky, were once a tiny glimmer within some seer's eye. Yeah, man. And it says, time makes our empire scatter, but we shall build a new. Hmm. Shouts to Jewelry World. As soon as I get a chance, sis, I'm on it. Don't even worry about that. I just got to put myself in a situation where I can help. You know what I'm saying? I got put in a situation because I wouldn't take the jab, so I kind of lost my source of income. But in the midst of that, I started two businesses. So I'm in the process of trying to create another situation because this jab thing is really about to be a problem, right? So, we'll see. But as soon as I get a chance, you know what I mean? Yeah, Katie already know. I've already supported when I could. So, yeah, but that was for then. This is for now. So as soon as I get a chance, Joey World, I got you. Drop Nation, I got you. You already know. So, for only visions matter and only dreams are true. Let's read that again. So it says, time makes our empire scatter, right? Yeah. But we shall build a new, for only visions matter and only dreams are true. Man, oh man, one of my dreams, boy, oh boy, do you really want to hear my dream, man? I don't really dream of like one of my main dream is to have land and be able to do what I do, be able to be trained. I mean, be able to do what I have been trained to do for the past 30 years. I have done a lot of things, right? I know a lot of things, especially with building, right? Right. My dad owned a rebar company, right? I came home from college on a 4-year football scholarship, right? Because I got injured. So from that point on, I started working for my dad's rebar company, and I worked for him for 9 years before he went bankrupt. A hijack pretty much didn't like the fact that a melanated man was was running a substantial business. So they undermined my dad and took his business from him, pretty much. So I gained that. I got that exposure on steel work, like rebar, structural steel, iron work, right? I weld, I burn steel. I do a lot of stuff with steel, man. A lot of stuff with steel. I know how to build and erect with rebar and structural steel, right? Um, then I worked for the utility line in my state as an overhead lineman and a gas mechanic. I repair gas leaks and I do high voltage. I put in and repair high voltage electricity. So and I'm a heavy equipment operator and I have a Class A CDL driver's license. So my dream is to have access to land so I can just make it my thing, because my whole life I have been muzzled and not really been able to do my thing because these pale faces are always in my way. They always trying to stop me. They always trying to suppress me. They don't never let me really be a creator. Cause it's always shut up, nigga, and go sit in the corner. It's always been that. My whole life has always been that. Working with these crackers, man. So my dream is to be able to is to have access to the land and be able to build. I'm talking about crazy build. Cause I know I can do it. All I need is for somebody to say, do it, we got you. I got you. That's my dream. My dream is to be able to build, man, and have land so I can make sure that my 10th great grandson don't have to go through the the ass whipping that I've been through. Shalaki. So yeah, man. All praises to the most high. You hear me? I remain KTC, a hob. You hear me? A hob to the Shabbatah. A hob drop nation. I'm out.